to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. The center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. You know, something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day we are choosing that's not in our own best interest. So if the world is attacking you and the world wants to fight you and the world's trying to hold you down, so you gonna kick yourself in the balls? So you gonna stop yourself from getting what you dream? And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about discipline in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind. Self-love is when you say to yourself, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but that's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that. It's like you say to yourself, hey man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, you know, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like shit, you know, and I love you too much to let you eat that. Self-love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, you know, and I know you really want to go out with your friends. It's Saturday night, you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You know, I love you too much to let you go out tonight. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior. We tend to base our self-esteem on what other people think. And that's not really self-esteem. Self-esteem is supposed to be how we feel about ourselves. And I was just saying how dangerous it is to allow other people to determine how you're going to feel about you. And it's kind of like looking into a broken mirror. You're going to look in a broken mirror and then change your face to try to look good in this defiled, busted, broken mirror. And it's just other people's opinions is a really way to determine how we feel about ourselves. No matter whose fault it is that something is broken, if it's your responsibility to fix it. For example, it's not somebody's fault if their father was an abusive alcoholic, but it's for damn sure their responsibility to figure out how they're going to deal with those traumas and try to make a life out of it. It's not your fault.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
Good morning, Facebook family, Twitter, YouTube, and PowerPlugRadio.com listeners. We are back for another week of the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn. I am your host, and we are back. So this week topic is going to be good. Before we start, I want to first wish all of my mothers out there, those who are mothers, those grandparents, or friends of friends who've had to stand in the gap to be mothers to, the children. We all need, it all takes a village, right? So thank you all for tuning in. So welcome to Power Plug Radio. Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn is a business segment. Every week we give you weekly tips on how to apply these tips to your business life, right? So if you're a business owner, we do want to do nothing but bring you the very best of, just simple tips, right? So during this power hour, we will cover like business topics that will assist those who are seeking to start their business, or for those business owners who have started their business, right? And they seem a little stuck. So this week, let's talk about the weather. Let's get right into the weather. The weather here in St. Petersburg, Florida is the high is going to be 84 degrees, y'all. Yes. Like everybody loves the sunshine, right? So, and the low is going to be 66. So it's a little bit windy, but the sun is still shining. So that's the key part, right? So I want to make an announcement for those. So we know that there's been the PPP application portals. Some of them have been shut down, if not all, by now. So as of Monday, I believe, is when the payroll protection program they put a stop to accepting applications. However, there is a targeted advance grant that is available to business owners who are in a targeted area. So the SBA has this grant out. It's about I believe it's like $5 billion available for businesses who suffered a loss. So it's and to be eligible, the small businesses must have no more than 10 employees, be located in a low income area, and had an economic loss due to the corona pandemic of greater than 50% over an 8-week period since March 2nd, 2020, compared to the previous year in 2019. So what I'm saying is there's money out there for this grant, and some of it, in the beginning, there was an email being sent to targeted businesses who were in this particular area, right? You should have received the email. If you haven't received the email from the SBA, there is an email that there's an email address that you can send an inquiry to see if you can apply for this grant. And I am going to put it in the comments on Facebook, but here is the email address. So you can send an email stating that your business is in a low income area. For those in the St. Petersburg area, I'm just going to say it's the CRA zone. So if you're in that zone, that targeted zone, you qualify for this grant. However, you need to send an email because a lot of people didn't get the email. So send an email and to inquire about what are the steps for you to take to apply for this grant. So that email address is targeted, TARGETED, advance, AD, V as in Victor, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, E, at S as in Sam, B as in boy, A. So that's SBA.gov, G-O-V. G is in George, O is in Oscar, V is in Victor. So that's targeted advance at SBA.gov. Send your emails. It's money out here. Really, it is money out here. If you have your paperwork together, if you're in a low income area and you suffered a loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic, listen, go ahead and send your email. All they could tell you is yes or no if you qualify. But if you don't, we do know if you don't send an email, guess what? You'll never know. So, and you can't say, oh, nobody, I never get anything. Well, did you send an email? Did they tell you that you couldn't qualify? So again, I just want to provide you all with these tools and resources that's available. Okay. Now, what did you guys do this week for a self-care day? Did you all go to the beach? Are you all, the weather is getting warmer and the sun is shining bright, like bright. So are you all doing anything for this weekend? I know it's Mother's Day weekend. What are your plans? Are you all going to the beach? I saw a sunset the other day. I went and watched the sunset, and I think that is the most liberating thing. Like, it's just being around the water, period, is like it's the best thing ever. So let's talk about it. Like, what are you doing this weekend for self-care? What did you do this week? What is self-care? Like, you want to take a day out of each week and truly love on yourself. Do something that you love, that you absolutely love to do, right? So we are going to get into this week's topic. This is a good topic. The topic of discussion of this week is how to delegate and get results in your business. How to delegate and get results in your business. But before we start, I always like to start with starting a business can be scary and exciting at the same time, right? But before you start your business, you must start with the renewing of your mind. So what is the renewing of your mind? That's where you have a mindset, an open mindset to build your business, to grow your business, right? A mindset that I can do this very thing that I am so passionate about, right? So we're going to talk about this topic today, and you got to have an open mindset. When we talk about a fixed mindset, that's where you don't want to listen. You don't want to learn. You self-sabotage everything. You feel like success should have happened by now. But it takes time. Success is not overnight. And I think a lot of times we get so discouraged because things aren't happening quick enough for us. I know, because I've been there. I say this because only from my experience. You want something so bad and you may feel like, maybe I need to do a little bit more, or maybe I'm not doing enough. What you have is enough. You just got to start. You just need to start. So we're going to get right into this topic. So this week's topic, like how to delegate and get results. So this is for my business owners. This is for my business owners who have a business. I'm talking to my entrepreneurs, brick and mortar business owners. Like, how do you delegate? Like, do you just, as business owners, we do everything. We're the accountant. We're the banker. We make the deposits. We do, we open up, we close, we're the last ones in the bit, we do everything. And so what's one of the things that you need in your business that you could use help in? And Chandra and I was talking about this before we came on live about delegating. Like, that's one, how do you delegate? You don't even know where to start when you delegate, right? When you decide that I'm going to delegate, I need to delegate task in my business, right? So let's talk about that. What does it mean to delegate? Like, what is that? So delegate, let's talk about what is delegation, right? So delegation is commonly defined as the shifting of authority and responsibility for particular functions, tasks, or decisions from one person, usually the leader or the manager, to another, from one person to another. So it's the business owner telling the employees or the people that they have on their team to do certain tasks, right? So we're going to talk about that because I'm not talking about telling people what to do. I'm talking about real deal delegating a task. We're going to use email management. You need someone to manage your email, your inbox. So you're going to delegate this task to a person. And that person is going to make sure that they respond to your emails and they clean out your inbox, right? But before we start delegating, we got to do these things first, right? We got to do these things first. And I want to talk about that because a lot of times when we talk about delegating, it's not about telling people what to do. I need you to do this, that, and that. It's about really, truly directing, you're coaching, you're instructing people, you're giving them the step-by-step process of how to do this task. And I think what gets confused when we talk about delegating in our business, we just want to tell the people what to do. Okay, I need you to do this and expect them to understand and know what it is. And that's, come on now. So, before delegating any task, right? Before you delegate anything. So I need you all to get your pens and pencil, paper, take notes. I need you to take notes on this. Before you delegate anything in your business, you must do number one. You got to create a plan of action. You need to map out what do I mean by create a plan of action? You need to map out and research what area of your business that need the most help. So if you if it's project management, you got all these projects and you need to streamline the projects where there's a workflow. After things are completed, then something else happens. You want to automate the project. You see what I'm saying? So come on. You have to create a plan of action. You need to research. Think about your business. Man, I have 8 hours in a day. There's 24 hours in a day. And you're working 12 and 20 hours. 12 to 20 hours, which means you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, maybe 2 hours. Like you're running on fumes because there's not enough. You don't have enough help. And what happens when you go on overload? Things start to fall apart. I'm just saying. Your business, you don't have a business. You're just hustling. You burning yourself out. That's not a business. And sometimes we think about, and I know for my newly established businesses, well, how can I afford to pay for help delegate somebody help me? Listen, you're going to have to invest. Stop looking at it as, oh, this is just, I don't have no money. Stop looking at it as that. Look at it as I am in need of help. And I am going to delegate these tasks. Get me an assistant to help with this very task, like ASAP. So let's talk about that. Do you need help with organizing? Okay, so when we talk about we need to map out and research in our business what it is we need help with. One of the things is I see all the time, you need help with organization. You need to get organized in your business. Maybe you need a filing system. Maybe you need a CRM, customer relationship management software that will help you keep track of your audit, your client base, where they are in the project, right? Do you need email management? If your email has about 30,000 email, you have about 30,000 emails that haven't been read, that's email management, right? Or you might need to delegate communication services. Like, for example, maybe you need someone to take calls, filled out calls in your business. I'm tired of hearing people say, I don't have the time. You know why? Because they're not delegating. We don't have time because we're not taking the time. If your business means anything to you, you will take the time. You will make time to get this very thing. You will delegate this very thing. You will figure out what is the major need in your business. What are your needs in the business where you need to delegate these tasks to grow your business? Remember, I always say, in order to move anywhere in your business, up, down, side to side, you got to have a system in place. And within that system, you have to be able to delegate. That system includes a team of people that can help you move your business from point A, B, and C. Because if you're the only one that's moving the business, you're not moving anywhere. You're only going to move so far. So you need people. And I'm not saying anybody. You need someone that knows more than you, that can help propel your business, move your business forward. You delegate. You hand them the task. But before you hand them off the task, you got some responsibilities too as the business owner. And that is, you got to teach the people. They're not going to know what to do. You just tell them, hey, I need email management. You can't assume that people know what you need, what your needs are, right? So I want to give a shout out to our Facebook followers, Twitter, Apple app listeners, Alexa, powerplugradio.com. You can call in and ask questions about this discussion, this topic, 727-686-0512. How to delegate and get results in your business. I know we all have started some type of business and was burning from both ends because we didn't have the help that we needed, because we refused to delegate. And one of the reasons is, I don't trust nobody because they're not going to do it like I'm going to do it. And that's where we're going to talk about in the second half of how to delegate, right? How are we going to delegate? You can't assume that somebody's going to know. You can get the very best of the best executive assistant, but if they don't know your business like you know your business, so guess what? The responsibility then lies on you, the business owner, to get them to understand your business. It's almost like you're pitching for money. You're pitching to get money, right? You do a business pitch. There's an opportunity for you to pitch your business, like on Shark Tank. You have to explain to these people what your business is about. They need to know what is it about, why is it of value, or why should they invest in your business? Same thing when you're trying to delegate and get things done in your business, move your business forward. So we're going to go on a little break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about how you can delegate. And before you delegate, what things you need in place before you even talk about delegating. Because before you start to hire people to delegate these tasks, you need to protect your brand and your business before you do all of that. This is Stephanie A. Wynn with Jumpstart Your Business. We will be back.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio. Home of your throwback games. listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
We are back. with the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn. We are on the second half of the show, and before the break we talked about how do you delegate? How do you delegate these tasks? This very thing that you want to do, right? And so before you do any delegations, right, to assigning tasks to, you're going to hire somebody. You've made the decision, hey, I need help. I'm going to go ahead and just hire somebody to do these tasks that I found in my business that needs the most help, right? Need the most work done, right? You've mapped it out. You did the plan. You realize, okay, I need email. I'm just using this for an example. Email management, right? Before you hire anybody, you need to protect your business and your brand. And how do you do that? Well, let me tell you. You need to protect your brand when you're sharing anything about your business, anything about hiring them to do anything, whether it's email marketing or it's you're getting a virtual assistant. And these are the things that you need to have in place when you're hiring people. You need to have, number one, a mutual non-disclosure agreement, especially for my creatives, or if you have a product or service that you provide. You need to have a mutual non-disclosure agreement. And that is because the things that you have them working on is sensitive information. So you need to have that in place, right? Number two, if you're hiring anybody to do any work for you, like they're going to design a logo, they're going to create a website for you, you need to have them sign you need to have an independent contractor agreement in place. An independent contractor agreement in place. And in that agreement, you're going to specify who owns the rights to the content. A lot of us hire people to create logos and do design work or put in place templates, but they own it. You don't own that. Does that make sense? Number three, a media release form. So say you hire a virtual assistant to delegate some tasks to, and she needs to use your pictures, your photos, any audio, any media, anything relating to your voice, your document, to your pictures. You need a media release form. For my podcasters who do live podcasts, and they hire people to come on their show, or not hire, but they allow people to come on their show, you need to have this media release agreement in place. Because if that interview goes viral and you make let's say you make a lot of money, you're selling a product or your service, or that interview impacted a lot of people, millions of people, and the person that you interviewed can come back and say, hey, I didn't like the way my voice sound. Take that interview down. So I'm just saying, before hiring an assistant, you need to have these things in place. Number 4, you need a work for hire agreement. Just saying. I'm just saying. So when you're hiring people or you're onboarding people, you want to make sure that you have these agreements in place. You want to make sure you have this agreement in place. These agreements, the non-disclosure agreement, it's a legal binding document and contract that requires both parties to sign and not disclose any sensitive information. That's what a non-disclosure agreement is. And this agreement is used before sharing or discussing sensitive information with another party. So again, like I'm saying, I'm just giving you these tools that you're going to need when you're hiring a virtual assistant or any assistant. You need to have a non-disclosure agreement included in your contract. Like you need to have a clause there, right? Number 2, you need to have an independent contractor agreement. It's a written contract that is used when you're hiring an outside vendor. It describes the terms and specific details of the project, such as project description, payment details, and length of contract, and any confidentiality clauses. This agreement is used when hiring an outside vendor who will invoice you for a service they provide. I'm just saying, we gotta see. These are so needed when you're doing business, right? And that media release form, let's talk about that again. This is a form that grants you permission to sell and distribute another person's audio, video, photographs, and recordings. This is used anytime someone appears on your podcast, live web shows, live events via audio, visually, and media that you possess. So when you're doing Instagram, IG lives, Facebook lives, you have somebody else on your live, you need this release form. I'm just saying. And a lot of people are doing these podcast interviews. They don't even have I know for a fact, because when people ask me to be on their podcast, they don't ask for this form. Because they're not even thinking of something they're not thinking past protecting, oh, this is my podcast. This is mine. No, it is yours. Yes. But that person you interviewed can come back and say, I don't want that podcast on Facebook. Take it down. I'm just saying. So how do you delegate? Let's talk about that. How do you delegate? So this is the Jumpstart your business. This is the Jumpstart. These templates that I was talking about, these done for you templates, the Jumpstart your business, protect your brand business templates can be found. I'm going to put the link on. You can go to stephanieawynn.com, select bookstore. Those templates are on that section of the website. You can also on Facebook, I'm putting the link of where you can access these templates, because before you start delegating, you need to make sure you're ready. You're setting yourself up for success. You have these in place. So when you decide to onboard a virtual assistant or an executive assistant, whatever type of assistant that you're going to hire, you're protecting yourself as well. And I'm sure they probably have their forms too. But you need to protect your brand, because they're not thinking about your brand. You are, right? So this is something that we want to make sure that, and I'm going to keep talking about this over the next few weeks, because we do everything first. We'll market, we'll get the LLC, we'll get the logo, but we don't have contracts and agreements in place to protect our brand or our business for that matter. Right? Okay. So how do you delegate? Let's get to that. How do you delegate? Right? I think the reason why we don't delegate is because of trust. We don't trust people to get the work done, or you've hired somebody before in the relationship, it didn't go well. Right? So now we're really particular about who we hire to delegate these tasks, and we get comfortable. We would rather do it ourselves and say, I'll just do it myself until I find someone. But when are you going to find someone? You have to step out and look for, you have to be clear on what you're looking for before we step out and start, hiring these people. And when you have clarity, you've already mapped out where you need the most help at in your business. So you have to be clear on, okay, how many hours a week do I need this person to do this very thing that I need help in, right? So to do that, you got to ask yourself, how long would this project take? Remember, because we're in this microwavable society, we want stuff right now. I need this done right now. You got to be honest with yourself. And you also, in all fairness to the person that you're going to hire, you have to give them enough time. Because if you hiring somebody today and you're expecting a turnaround on Monday, that's not fair to them. I wouldn't even take on a project like that. Not for that type of turnaround. Even if you offered to pay me whatever my fee is, I'm not taking that. No. So you have to, as the business owner, you have to give these people enough time, ample time to produce what it is that you need help the most with, right? So remember, it's going to require you to put in time and effort. Remember, I talk about this all the time. We know we got to invest in getting help, but we also know this too. It's going to require you to put in time and effort. If you don't have the time, or you're not putting forth an effort in the delegating this, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to turn out well. I'm just saying. So, so let's get back to, you got to trust others and empower them to deliver on that trust. So you want to make sure that when you're hiring these people, let's talk about how to hire them. You have to trust the people and empower them to deliver on what you need. You're going to have to trust them. That's what business is. It's about trial and error. You might have hired somebody, it didn't work out. Okay, keep going. That's what entrepreneurship is. It's up, down 1 minute. Today you're happy. Tomorrow you're crying. Tomorrow, the rest of the week is good. But a great leader anticipates challenges. You may have a deadline for May 15th. There may be something that come up in the middle of that may delay it. You have to anticipate challenges. So let's talk about this. As you're hiring your help, how do you delegate? Once you've made the decision, you've mapped out what you need help. You've mapped out your business. Okay, I need help in email management and I need communication services, meaning you want someone to answer your calls, return calls, follow up with the emails. You have two things, right, that you need help with. Okay, so once you've figured that out, now and then you go and you get your business, the legal part with your contracts and your agreements, right? You have those in place. And now you've decided to hire someone. How do you delegate the task? Number one, what you're going to do is you're going to direct them. You're the leader. You're the business owner. You have to direct these people into, I'm not saying telling them what to do. You're directing them as to what needs to be done. I need this, and this done. And I would recommend that you give them an overview of the business first before you start talking about getting down to the thicker things of this task. Tell them what your mission and your vision, your goal is. The goal is for me to have my SOPs created, or to have my email, my inbox cleared out by the end of May. That's my goal. I'm just using that as an example. And then you got to coach them. That's the second one. You got to coach them. You have to coach the people so they understand what it is that you're doing, what your expectations are. Coach them through this task. And you got to start small. You can't give somebody that you're already leery about hiring somebody, but you want to start small. Give them a small task to see how they deliver that small task. And then you work your way up. And then the third one is you want to support them. You got to support the people that you've hired. Support them. Okay, do you need any? If you have any questions, reach out to me. Make the people feel like as if they are a part of this too. So you want to support them. Does that make sense, y'all? So we got to trust others and empower them to deliver the results, right? You first got to do these 3 things. That's direct them, you got to coach them, and you need to support them. So the business tips takeaways for this week. Let me give you all those. I'm going to talk about those and because I want to spend a little time on those. Number 1, you got to determine where your business needs the most help. When you're delegating, determine where your business needs the most help. All right. Number 2, develop an onboarding system. What I mean by that is, how are your hiring process with this assistant that you're going to hire? What's the system you have in place for that? Do you have a CRM? Yes, no, maybe so. Or are you just doing everything manually? Number 3, delegate small tasks and invest in getting a virtual assistant for your business. What I'm saying here is you have to be able to delegate small tasks. Don't go big. Don't go, you want to go big. Oh, I got to go big or go home. No, because you're setting this person that doesn't even know your business up for failure. Give them small things to do first. But it's going to require that you invest in a virtual assistant or an executive assistant. To move forward in your business, you got to get help. You got to build that team. What does your team look like? Only you know that. But whoever you choose to be a part of your team, you want the very best on your team. You don't want somebody that make excuses. They're always late to the meetings. They never show up. You can't get them on the phone. They rather communicate via text messaging. That's not doing business. So you want to make sure that we know you're investing, but before investing, make sure you have the very best on your team. Make sure that they can show you, give you references of people that they've done business with. Delegating is not as hard as it seems. It's really not. We just have to believe enough in ourselves and what it is that we need in our business, and then act accordingly. Figure out your budget. Can you afford $200 a month? Or maybe you can get with a virtual assistant that, like me and Chandra was talking, maybe by the day. I might need you by the day because I may not need your help tomorrow. But you want to make sure that you got it clear. So the business tip takeaways, they're simple. Determine where your business needs the most help. Develop an onboarding system and delegate small tasks, and invest in getting a virtual assistant for your business. That's it. Remember, the problem is people don't delegate because the number one thing is they don't trust them enough to get the job done. They feel like this person can't get this done. You never know. This same person that can help you may find a easier way for you to do this very thing that you have problems with in your business. They can help you streamline it. They can make it simplistic and make your life a whole lot easier. Does that make sense? So, this is the part of the show where we talk about ships. At some point on your entrepreneurship journey, you will encounter some type of ship. Friendships, relationships, partnerships, entrepreneurship, companionships. Whatever ship you choose, make sure that your ship is free from holes and that it is solid. What I mean by that for the purposes of this topic this week is that as you're delegating, as you're attempting to delegate these tasks out, as you find what areas in your business need the most help, make sure you have the very best on your team. Because if we're all at the table and we got the same mindset, we not moving, that ship not sailing nowhere. You want the people that can propel that ship forward with getting it done, getting whatever it is that you need to get done in your business. Delegating is important when you're trying to build your business and your brand. If you can't delegate, you're going to stay stagnant. And the goal is for you to grow. Your business is only going to grow as far as you allow it to grow. But you got to put these tools in place, these resources in place. Get you an assistant. But before you get you an assistant, make sure that you're protecting your brand first. You have all of these things in place. So when the assistant you find the assistant, okay, I'm going to send you over these agreements. We can sign and let's get to work. So now you're doing business and they take you serious. Does that make sense, y'all? So listen, I know it's Mother's Day weekend. I want you all to have a wonderful weekend. For the mothers out there, be sure to tune in to the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn weekly every Saturday. Next week, we got a special guest. Donna Lindsay is coming back to the show. She's doing a virtual book tour and she's going to be dropping jewels on self-love. We all can use self-love. We all need to love on ourselves more, because if we don't love ourselves, how can we be anything to anybody else, right? So next week, be sure to tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Power Plug Radio, home of the throwback jams. You can download the Power Plug Radio app in Google Play, Apple App Store. You can listen live on Facebook, Power Plug Radio, Amazon, Alexa, play Power Plug Radio. You can call in to join the conversation at 727-686-0512. Again, make sure you all go back and if you're listening to the replay, email the SBA for that targeted advance grant. Email them to see if you qualify. All they can do is tell you yes or no. They'll give you the instructions of what you need to do. There's $5 billion on the table for that grant. Also, if you live in a targeted low income area, also you want to get these templates. If you want to get those templates, there's a link in the you can go to stephanieawynn.com, or you can click on the link on the Facebook app, Facebook Live replay. So again, thank you all for tuning in today. I want you all to have a wonderful day. Until next time.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything.